When Laura left her apartment that afternoon, nothing seemed out of place. No argument, no urgency, no sign of fear. She didn't send a message. She didn't tell anyone where she was going. Days later, investigators would confirm something chilling. Laura didn't disappear. Someone made sure she wouldn't come back. Laura was 26 years old. She had studied fine arts and was preparing for competitive teaching exams. In late 2018, she moved to El Campillo, a small town in southern Spain, with fewer than 2,000 residents. She rented a modest apartment near the center of town. For Laura, this wasn't permanent. It was a pause, a quiet place to focus. El Campillo was the kind of town where nothing ever seemed to happen, and where people believed they were safe. On December 12th, Laura left her apartment in the afternoon. Several witnesses later confirmed seeing her walking alone. Calm, unhurried. She never reached her destination. That night, her phone stopped responding. By the next morning, her apartment remained untouched. Her belongings were still there. Her keys were inside. Whatever happened to Laura didn't involve a struggle inside her home, and it didn't happen by chance. Police treated the case as a disappearance. Search teams mobilized quickly. Volunteers joined in. Roads, fields, paths leading out of town. There were no witnesses, no discarded belongings, but something felt wrong. Laura had vanished in a place where people noticed everything. In a town this small, someone had seen her. Someone knew what happened. They just hadn't spoken yet. 5 days after Laura disappeared, search teams found her body in a remote area outside town. The location raised immediate questions. According to forensic investigators, Laura did not die where she was found. The evidence showed she had been taken there afterward. The autopsy later confirmed that Laura died from suffocation. There were no signs of a random act, no indication of chaos. Everything pointed to a controlled sequence of events. This was deliberate. Investigators began reconstructing Laura's final hours: who she spoke to, where she walked, who crossed her path. One timeline kept resurfacing. One set of movements didn't match the rest. A man living nearby had interacted with Laura shortly before she vanished. At first, he denied any involvement, but inconsistencies appeared. His statement shifted. The margin for coincidence disappeared. The suspect was identified, and in court, the reconstruction left little room for doubt. The timeline matched, the forensic evidence aligned, and the contradictions told their own story. He was found guilty and sentenced to permanent revisable prison, one of the harshest penalties under Spanish law. Laura didn't disappear because she was careless. She didn't make a fatal mistake. She was simply living her life in a place that felt safe. And that is why this case is still remembered today.